It is 6:15 in the evening, and you have been standing in the same corner of the kitchen for 11 minutes, stirring with one hand and holding a 2-year-old on your hip with the other. She has asked for the tablet 3 times. You have said no 3 times. By the 4th time, your hand is already moving toward it because your arm is tired, and dinner will not cook itself. And it is only 15 minutes, you tell yourself, just 15 minutes so you can breathe. You are not a bad mother in that moment. You are only a tired one, standing in a kitchen with no third hand, and nobody ever handed you a 4th. But I want to tell you something. It took me 40 years and 3 children of my own to learn without a single screen anywhere in my house. There is no tablet in what I am about to show you, no small glowing screen to buy you 15 minutes of quiet, no new toy to order and wait for at the door. What I am going to give you uses a corner you likely already have, toys she already owns, most of them, and a little patience, which costs nothing at all. And later, I am going to tell you exactly why the people who sell the screens have never wanted you to know how simple the rest of this actually is. My name is Naomi Takahashi. I am 63 years old, a mother of 3, and a grandmother to 5. My youngest carried the shopping home by himself at 6 years old, and it was the proudest walk of his whole small life. But I had walked that same street beside him 30 times first, watching, saying nothing, before I ever let go of his hand. Here is everything we are going to build together. The yes corner, the 4 things, and not 40. The watching without touching, which is the hardest one, and the one that changes everything. The quiet start, the busy hands rule, which surprised me more than any of it, and the length of a held breath, which is how you will teach her, slowly, to stay a little longer each week. Give me 2 weeks of doing this the same way, most days, not every single one. And by the 2nd week, most of the tired parents I have walked through this find themselves with 10 quiet minutes they did not have to buy from anybody. Let me start with what you have been told wrong, because if you do not understand this, nothing else I say will hold. You have been told somewhere along the way that a toddler either can play alone or cannot. The way people say some babies simply sleep well and others simply do not, as if it were decided at birth. That is not true. I promise you, it was never true of my own 3, and it has never been true of the hundreds of small children who have sat on my tatami floor over 40 years. Independent play is not a personality. It is a skill, built the same slow way a child learns to hold a spoon or button a coat, in small, ordinary, slightly boring steps, with an adult nearby who is willing to say less, not more. Your daughter does not need to be taught to want to play. She was born wanting that already. What she needs from you is for you to clear away what is standing between her and it, and I am going to show you, one piece at a time, exactly what that is. The first one is the yes corner. In my house, there is a low shelf beside the tatami room, no higher than a 2-year-old's waist, and everything sitting on it is already hers to touch. That is the whole idea. Before this, you may be saying it a dozen times a day without even noticing. Do not touch that. Leave the plant alone. Get away from the dog's water bowl, and each one of those, small as it feels in the moment, pulls her attention back onto you instead of into her own play. A child cannot build a long, quiet, focused stretch of play if she is interrupted every minute or two by your voice correcting her. So instead of repeating the correction, we remove the need for it. This does not have to be a whole room. It can be one low drawer in your kitchen or a corner behind the sofa with a gate across it and nothing breakable inside. You are not child-proofing the entire house tonight. You are building one small country where she is already allowed to be exactly as she is, without your voice landing in it every few seconds. Here is what it looks like when this works. She wanders to her corner, picks something up, and you go back to your own vegetables, and 20 minutes pass with neither of you saying a word. And it is not because she happens to be an unusually calm child. It is because there was nothing in that corner asking to be told no. And here is what it looks like when the corner is missing. You are wiping up spilled water for the third time this hour, saying the same tired sentence in the same tired voice, and by evening you are both worn thin, and it can start to feel as though she is doing it on purpose. She is not. She is only doing what any small child does in a room full of interesting, forbidden things. Build the yes corner first. Everything I tell you after this rests on it. The second one is harder, and it is the one that changes everything, so listen closely. In the nursery schools where I once helped mind children on the days their own mothers worked, there is a word for this, mimamoru, which means something close to watching over, but watching in one particular way, with your hands kept behind your back. It means staying close enough to see and far enough that you do not touch. Here is the mechanism, plainly. Your daughter stacks 3 blocks and the tower leans, and your hand moves before you have even decided it should, to catch it, to fix it, to hand her the 4th block the right way round. I understand that instinct completely, because it lives in me too, even now, at 63. But every time we catch it for her, we teach her, quietly, without meaning to, that this activity belongs to us, and that she needs us in the room for it to go well. So the next time the tower leans, stay exactly where you are, and count to 10 in your own head, slowly, and, watch. Sometimes the tower falls. Good. Let it fall. She will look at it, and then, more often than you would expect, she will pick the blocks back up and start again, because a fallen tower is only a catastrophe if your face tells her it is. I sat through this so many times on my own kitchen floor, hands folded in my lap, saying nothing, while a small tower fell and a small child decided, entirely on her own, to build it again. This is the piece that turns 20 seconds of play into 20 minutes, because a child who is not being rescued starts solving small things for herself, and solving small things for yourself is, in the end, the whole art of playing alone. Here's the contrast, plainly. A child who is rescued at every wobble looks up after every small failure, waiting for you. A child who is watched without being touched looks down, back at her own hands, and keeps going. That difference is most of independent play, and it starts with your hands staying exactly where they are. But the next one is the one I most want you to hear, because it is the one nobody tells a new mother, and it has nothing to do with buying more toys, and if anything, everything to do with owning fewer. The third one is this: 4 things. Not 40, not 4 toys exactly, 4 kinds of play laid out at once, no more. A basket of blocks is one, a set of pretend food is another, a single picture book is a third. That is already 3, and I want you to stop there more often than feels natural. This runs backwards to what almost every tired parent believes, that more choice means more engagement, and it is nearly always the opposite. Watch a child in a room with 20 scattered toys, and you will see her touch 6 of them in 90 seconds and settle on none. Watch the same child with 4, and she will sit with one of them far longer because there is nowhere else for her attention to run to. Keep the rest resting out of sight, in a cupboard she is not allowed to open without you, not as a punishment, only waiting its turn. Once a week or so, swap what is out for something that has been resting. It does not need to be new. It only needs to have been gone long enough that she has half forgotten it. And to a small child, forgotten and new feel exactly the same in the hands. This is not about owning fewer toys forever. It is only about how many are visible to her this afternoon in this room. 4 is a good place to start. Fewer, and she may feel there is nothing to choose. more, and she will choose nothing at all. But even with the right toys, in the right number, most children still need one more thing from you before they can truly play without you. And that is where we go next. The fourth one is what I call the quiet start, and it takes less than a minute. Before you ever walk away, sit down first and play alongside her for a little while, showing her one small thing she can do with what is in front of her. Stack 2 blocks and let her place the third. Pour 1 cup from the little pretend teapot and hand her the cup. You are not teaching her the toy. You are opening a door into it, and then you are going to step back and let her walk through on her own. When you do leave, say it plainly, once. In words she can actually hold. I am going to fold the washing, you play here. And when the sand runs out, I will come back. A small sand timer, or even the shadow the window makes on the floor, works far better than telling a 2-year-old 5 minutes, because a 2-year-old does not yet know what 5 minutes feels like, but she can watch sand fall, and she understands, more or less, when it is gone, the waiting is gone with it. As a rough guide, most small children can hold their attention on one thing for only a few minutes for every year they have been alive, so do not expect the same stretch from a 2-year-old that you would from her 4-year-old cousin. Here is what going well looks like. She glances up once, sees you still nearby folding washing, and goes back to her teapot without a word. Here is what struggling looks like, and it is not failure. It is only information. She is at your knee every 30 seconds, asking if it is time yet, and that tells you one thing only, that today, this stretch was too long, and tomorrow you will make it shorter. Not a lecture, a habit built one short afternoon at a time. There is one more piece, though, and it has nothing to do with the toys at all. It has to do with what your own 2 hands are doing while she plays. The 5th one is small, and it surprised me more than almost anything I have learned in 40 years. Keep your own hands busy nearby rather than watching her too closely. It feels like devotion, doesn't it? To sit right at the edge of the mat with your eyes on her the whole time, ready for anything. But a child who feels watched that closely, even by someone who loves her completely, often starts performing for you instead of playing for herself, glancing up after every small success, checking your face. So bring something of your own into the room instead. A sock that needs mending, a basket of washing to fold, your own cup of tea, and 5 quiet minutes with it. Sit close. An arm's length is plenty, not eye to eye, simply near. In my own house, I kept a small basket of mending by the low table for exactly this reason. So my grandchildren grew up thinking of their grandmother's busy hands as simply part of the room. Here is what it looks like when this is working. She talks to herself quietly, narrating her own small world, because she has forgotten, in the best way, that anyone is listening. Here is what it looks like when it is not. She keeps turning to check your face after every block, every page, every small decision, because somewhere she has learned that the point of the activity is your reaction to it and not the activity itself. You are not doing anything wrong if you have been sitting close and watching closely. Every one of us has, out of love, out of worry, out of simply not knowing there was another way. Move your body a little further off, busy your own hands, and watch what happens to hers. Once the corner, the watching, and the busy hands are all in place, there is only one thing left standing between you and a truly long, quiet stretch of play. And the last one, the one I wish someone had told me when my first was born, is this. You are not aiming for 15 minutes today. You are aiming for whatever her true limit is, this week, right now, and then 1 minute more than that. With my own eldest, her true limit at 2.5 was only 4 minutes, and I remember standing at the sink feeling almost foolish about how short that was, as though I had done something wrong to end up there. I had not. 4 minutes was simply where she was that month, and by her 3rd birthday, without a single lecture from me about attention span, it had grown into 20. Nobody tells a tired parent this part, that the whole slow crawl from 4 minutes to 20 is not the method failing, it is the method, working exactly as it should. And here is the part that should make you a little uneasy, gently, not angrily. The people who build the tablets and the bright toys that ask nothing of a child's patience at all have known for a long time that an ordinary, slightly boring afternoon, with 4 toys and a grandmother mending a sock nearby, does most of this work for free. But an ordinary afternoon does not sell a subscription. And a grandmother with mending in her lap has never once asked you for your card details, so it is rarely the thing you are shown first. I am not asking you to throw anything away tonight. I am only asking you to notice who benefits when you believe your child cannot possibly sit with her own toys, and who benefits instead when she can. Picture this: 2 weeks from tonight. It is 6:30 again. You are still cooking with one hand, but this time she's in her corner with her teapot and her blocks, and the tablet is still in the drawer where you left it, and you get 11 quiet minutes. Then 12, then, some evenings, 20. I will tell you honestly, it will not go smoothly every single day. Some afternoons, she will want you after 90 seconds, and that is not the plan failing. That is only a tired Tuesday, and they happen to all of us. It will cost you patience, and about 2 weeks of showing up the same way and nothing else. Tell me how old your little one is, and what happens in your house in the 15 minutes before dinner, right now, tonight. I read every single one of these. Next time, I want to tell you about a bowl, a spoon, and the one word my own mother never once said at our table. Until then, be patient with your little one, and be just as patient with yourself. You are doing far better than they would have you believe.